I'm so delighted to have Mr. Tushar Hiranandani and Ankit Kothari and Subhashish Sarkar and of course Shreya Kaparia, who's also the producer of this short film Panchika, which has been selected under the non-feature film category. So I'll first start with the popular category, Saad Ki Aankh, which is absolutely, I was kind of so touched. It was a phenomenal film, at least from a woman's point of view. And I really thought that not only my daughter, but my son should also see that film and realize how important it is for women to kind of come of age, and that women can come off at any age. That was a remarkable story that you gave it to us. Thank you for presenting Chandru and Prakashi Tomar, the sharpshooter dadis, in the screen format, and you virtually changed our perspective towards so many things. Thank you for that, Tushar. So, Saad Ki Aankh was the opening film for the Indian Panorama. It was selected for that. And we all know the film, but very briefly, of course, we have Tushar to tell us the story in much more detail. I am not the right person, but still I'm taking this opportunity. Saad Ki Aankh is a story of grandmother duo. We all know about the Chandru and Prakashi Tomar sharpshooter dadis from this small village who joined a local shooting range to encourage their daughters and won 352 medals each as sharpshooters post 60. That was remarkable. And director Tushar Hiranandani is a film director and screenplay writer who brought these two women, the iconic women, I would say, alive to us. This is a story which we were all aware of, but he told us so beautifully that it kind of became etched in my heart and my life too. And Tushar's, of course, this was Saad Ki Aankh was his directorial debut. But before that, he's worked in popular films like Ek Villain and ABCD. And again, both were remarkable and wonderful films, full of energy. That is what I would say. ABCD, of course, was so close to a lot of younger generation. And this film was produced by the Reliance Group. And Subhashish Sarkar, the group CEO, the content and digital game CEO head, is here with us and is sharing the dais. And now I would also like to speak about Panchika. So there were about 143 films which were in the non-feature film group. And today the jury was here with us in the morning. And they said this film came out so beautifully. And it was selected amongst those 143 films, only 20 non-feature films which have been selected, and Panchika was selected as one of the opening films too. So congratulations for that, Ankit. I can see such a young and a very, very bright, intelligent. I could just feel that in that one small meeting that we had here. So Panchika is a story which hits very, very hard at the caste-based system in the society, and which prevents two children from different castes to come together. Yet, you know, friendship doesn't know any bond. It doesn't know any religion. It doesn't know any caste. It doesn't know any boundaries. And the way the two girls got together, it's a beautiful tale of friendship which Ankit has woven and which he's going to relate to you after this. So about Ankit, he's worked in advertising agencies, and he's assisted in films like Tumbad, Sranghai, and Oi Lucky Lucky Oi. Is that correct? And I would also like to add that Panchika is a very, very short film, just 14-minute film. And here is a young director of that film, just 36-year-old. And this film has been selected for the in the non-feature film category and as the opening film. And the producer is Shreya Kaparia. I can see another young lady entrepreneur, another woman entrepreneur who has backed Ankit in producing this beautiful film. So I would first like to begin with Ankit, Tushar, with your permission. So would you like to tell us your journey about this film, Panchika, and why did you name the film as Panchika?
Pachika is a game of 5 pebbles where as you suspend one pebble in air and you clap it. That's what a lot of us have played in our childhood, and that just seemed like an interesting symbol and title to tell a tale of friendship where they suspend their friendship while they have to do what the society tells them to do, which is clap or agree to what has been told to them. And it is this friendship that is suspended in the whole film that made me interested in a story like this. It's a short story written by Venkatesh Madgulkar, a very renowned Marathi writer back in the 50s. And I just felt that adapting it into my landscape and language, which is Gujarat and the little run of Kutch, and telling a story of friendship in my world uh, would be an interesting way. Even though it's a short film, I had so much to say, and I felt that the symbols and metaphors that I could use against such a story and such landscape of salt pyramids was something that really excited me for 2 years of this journey.
Thank you so much, Ankit. Now can I ask Tushar Hiranandani of Saad Ki Aankh fame to speak about his film and about his journey?
So basically, like you said, I've written a lot of films, Hindi films, and I always wanted to become a director. So I must tell you that I'm also a young director. I'm at age of 45, and I wanted to retire at 50. And I thought I was already working in a job. I used to work for Balaji. My wife was working for Dharma Production, who's also the producer of the film. And we both had a comfortable job. And I always wanted to become a director, but I never became a director. I was writing, like we always say in our industry, Hindi film industry, जब चलती हुई गाड़ी चलती है, bonnet नहीं खोलना चाहिए. So I didn't want to become a director. I said, चल रहा है, चलने दो. And I had this thing that I want to retire at 50 and get into this farming and agriculture and shift from Bombay, hustle bustle, go to some small city and live over there. And when I saw this show on Satyam Mein Jayate, Amir Khan show, and I saw it's not about the ladies that per se people say that it's a women-oriented film. For me, it was much about people who started their lives at 60. These two women who started their entire lives, restarted their entire lives for their daughters. At 60, they took up the sport shooting, which is so tough. Basically, people at 60, you can't even see. People say 40 के बाद आदमी अंधा हो जाता है. ये तो औरतें अंधे नहीं, became better. They started shooting. So at 60, they started the sport, and I thought at 50, I want to retire. Just imagine 60, they have started shooting. So what I wanted to do, I didn't do. So let me make this film. I want to make a film in my life. I always want to become a director. Let me chase my dreams. And then I started it. We had a lot of problems. It took me 5 years to make this film. But this man who's sitting next to me never left our side. He kept on pushing us, kept on trying. And there were lots of moments that we thought, every day there was a new twist in our tale. Our screenplay, both before making the film, we had a bigger screenplay while making the film. So there was every day there was some twist, and then somehow we started it. And once we started it, we knew we had something special. And by the time we released it, we were all very happy. I'm sure he was also very proud. All of us who are part of this film, from the spot boy to the actor, is still everyone messages me and they want to be a part of my next film because they were so happy working on this kind of film. So that's the journey of this film.
I'm so proud to be sharing my dais with both the star directors and such young directors. And life is still young at 60.
Is the key, yeah.
Young is the key. Life is still young at 60. So, Mr. Subhashi Sarkar, would you like to say why did you back this film? A few words to our audience.
So, let me tell you something. I didn't back the film. I backed Tushar. So Tushar came before, the film came later. It is better to be candid because after a film works well and it becomes successful, you can always take a position that I love the script and love the content. No, I love Tushar. And when Tushar came with a story, and as Tushar said that it was a long journey, it was like 4 or 5 years journey and etc. But you know, once we get ingrained into the story and once Tushar shares us this thing, we figured out that, see, as a company, as an organization, Reliance Entertainment make various kind of films. We make commercial films, we make films for making money. Of course, that is our business at the end of the day. But sometimes some stories will really push you to, will really make you feel that apart from doing whatever you are doing, there are certain stories which you need to back. For us, this film is somewhere, like I was mentioning some time back, is that it's a celebration of human spirit. It is not it's a celebration of human values. It's how it shows that at such an age, people, in spite of every kind of impediment, if you guys have seen the film, like whether it's a small village in UP with a social system, caste system, patriarchy, and it is not that those impediments are only for these two individuals. That was the society. But in spite of that, the two sister-in-laws, they were not even sisters, they bonded and they figured out and they thought that they have to do something for the next generation, and went on to become, I mean, like an history. And when I remember when I met them, because Tushar took us and went, now probably they're 80 or 85, Tushar.
85.
Even if you meet them, the kind of fire what they have in there and the spirit, that's why probably some people become successful. And I mean, my participation in this journey, that I only followed the vision of a director. Credit to Tushar and Nidhi, who are the director and the producer actually in All Spirit, who gave this little gem to us. But of course, a lot of people like Anurag Kashyap played a lot of role in putting together this film in a later date. Our cast like Bhumi, Tapsi, Vineet, Saad. There are a lot. I mean, If films, as I'm saying, films does not happen by few people. It's a collaboration of a lot of people together. And we are really indebted to Tushar as well as the team that they have given us such a gem of a story.
Thank you
That's
so
the
much. Thank you so much, Shubhashit. Shreya Kapadia is not on the dais, but would you like to speak a few words, because you're also a young entrepreneur to that sense? Can we give the mic to her, please? Thank you, Shreya.
You'll have to face them.
Yeah, it's my
Camera.
first time.
Yeah, it's okay. Get used to it.
Yeah, so I also happen to be the wife of the director. But when he told me and narrated me the script, the first thing I really liked about the movie was the innocence of the friendship between these two girls. Even if there's a casteism or so much of biasness happening into that in that families and in particular community. And when we went there, the harshness of the area and the people when we met there, we could see that, we could relate that, we could relate it with the story, we could relate it in real life. So that touched us a lot, and it's the fact that we have shown, and that was something which was very important for us to narrate.
I think by harshness, you'll have to tell them what's the harshness, because not everybody.
The harshness of their life, their struggles, of their living. That's why there's this casteism. They have a very stern thinking process, stern life.
Yeah, and also the location. It's a salt farming village. So it's at the edge of the little run of Kutch, and for 8 months they go into the desert, and that's where they make the salt, and all of this salt comes and is put up in pyramids. So there are like these hundreds of pyramids, and the village has these hundreds of pyramids. It's a very dystopian space, because we see snow as white in color when we see it on the ground, but this was seeing a lot of salt crystals on the ground. And our story was on innocence, and we were looking for a location which would be completely opposite to that, to enhance this innocence. And that's why we took this salt village, where just between hundreds of salt pyramids there are just two 7-year-old girls who are on a journey, and without a lot of dialogue you feel the disparity of the emotions that they have and what the society wants them to do or behave.
I would just want to add one thing, is when we were looking out for the girls, these two girls are from two different villages, but somehow the parents were not agreeing for them to work together. They agreed only when they came to know that they both come from the same community. That's how their parents agreed for the girls to work together. So it's the fact of the life.
Some of you, if you haven't seen it, you must. It's beautifully presented. It's sometimes heart-stirring, heart-rendering both. You must see some of the film clips, like where she walks barefooted, and then the little girl gives her shoe, and chappal or slipper, whatever. It's a beautifully portrayed emotion. Thank you so much. Now I open the floor for questions, if there are any. Actually, even before you ask, can I ask a question with the permission? Your first reaction when it was told to you that your film is going to open the in Panorama in the non-feature film category. Your first reaction.
इतना तो अच्छा expect नहीं किया था. But yeah, I got a phone call from last year. Helaro was a Gujarati film. I got a phone call from one of the producers, and he said, "Congratulations, your film is selected for IFFI." And I was like, "हाँ, चलो कुछ तो मतलब अब दिखेगी कोई theatre में." That was my first reaction, that I'll get to see my own film. And then he said opening film, and I said, "No, I'll have to check this. This just seems too bizarre achievement."
Too good to be true.
Too good to be true. Absolutely.
Saad Ki Aankh was already a commercial success, Tushar, but still, your first reaction when it was chosen for IFFI, for the opening film.
See, if you want me to be honest,
Yes.
I thought Goa. Simple. In this Corona time, I've just got a 10-month-old baby. With this, we sat. Actually, my wife and I have not traveled for 2 years because she was pregnant during the filming, everything, and then we got a chance to do a holiday. So I've actually come for a holiday. But yes, this is added. This is really very important. But to be honest, great holiday too.
Candid admission there by Tushar. Wonderful. Now, please, you wanted to ask a question. I'm so sorry.
इट्स ओके. तुषार सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन आपसे है. आपने कहा कि बहुत सारे एक्टर और एक्ट्रेस आपको अभी कॉल कर रहे हैं कि आपका नेक्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट क्या होगा. सो वी वांट्स टू आल्सो नो.
कोई कॉल नहीं कर रहा मैडम. मैं कर रहा हूँ सबको. आज भी कोई कॉल नहीं कर रहा.
नहीं, आपने अभी कहा कि यू आर वर्किंग ऑन योर नेक्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट. सो आपका नेक्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट क्या है इसके बारे
अभी
में?
तक बायोपिक है, लिख रहा हूँ. कुछ हुआ नहीं अभी तक. सब लिख रहा हूँ, राइटिंग स्टेज पे है सब कुछ.
ओके, सब्जेक्ट क्या है सर?
वही बायोपिक है. नेक्स्ट मैं बायोपिक्स ही बनाते रहूँगा लाइफ भर. बेसिकली बायोपिक्स इज माई, बोलते हैं कि एक जॉनरा है मेरे को जो बहुत अच्छा लगता है. बिकॉज आई थिंक लाइफ हैज सो मेनी स्टोरीज, स्पेशली इन इंडिया देयर आर सो मेनी हिडन स्टोरीज. लाइक शी सेड दैट चंद्रो एंड प्रकाशी वर नोन, दे वर नॉट नोन टू बी ऑनेस्ट. इन नॉट इवन इन मेरठ एनीवन न्यू देम. व्हेन आई वेंट देयर दे नो वन न्यू. सो माय होल thing was that when I make this movie, I hope they will be noticed. In fact, they were given the Women of the Year in Russia, but people in their own village never give them anything. So that's the thing. So I want to make stories in biopics about such unknown people who need to be known.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
Thank you.
My question for you, Sand Ki Aankh is a feminist film. And in Bollywood, it is very hard to get producers or financiers for such films. As distributors doesn't show interest, in buying or releasing such films. So what is your take on this?
सर, इसलिए बाजू में जो बैठे हमारे जो है, इन्होंने, आप बोल रहे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर नहीं मिलते, इन्होंने मेरी पिक्चर दिवाली में रिलीज की, जो सबसे बड़ा दिन होता है डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के लिए. तो यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड वेयर दिस मैन इज टेकिंग मी. तो एक डेब्यू, दैट आई वाज सेइंग टू हिम आल्सो, दैट डेब्यू डायरेक्टर के लिए, और सब बोलते हैं एक्टर ज़रूरी होता है, स्क्रिप्ट ज़रूरी होता है. मेरे हिसाब से प्रोड्यूसर ज़रूरी होता है, हु कैन मेक योर फिल्म एंड रिलीज द फिल्म. इसलिए जो इसने कहा अभी कि आई एम सो हैप्पी दैट रिलीज हो गई मेरी पिक्चर कोई थिएटर में, उससे बड़ा फीलिंग डायरेक्टर के लिए और कोई हो ही नहीं सकता. जब आप अपनी पहली पिक्चर थिएटर में ऑडियंस का देखो ना, उससे बेटर कोई फीलिंग, कोई अवार्ड उससे बेटर नहीं हो सकता. सो दैट इज द मेन अवार्ड. सो दिस इज all thanks to them. So once Reliance came in, we were rest assured, and they gave me Diwali release. उससे बड़ा release तो हो ही नहीं सकता था.
So do you think that this will be a new beginning for such type of films?
I hope so. पता नहीं. I hope so. It should be. We did it. I don't know other people will do it or no. But I hope so.
Do we have more questions from the press? If not, I'm going to ask Ankit one question. Now, this is not only a tale of friendship that you've woven it into a tale of friendship, but it is actually a kind of a sad commentary on the kind of caste system that we have. So, what was your experience, and how did you kind of convince those two little girls to act out the role? I know you have very little dialogues in the film, very few. You also said it, but how did you let the two girls play it out? Here, they're two little girls, and they're two young girls at 60.
I think we all value women a lot, that we are making stories around them, and they are the ones because of which our stories are being made. But so the girls are from that terrain. We auditioned 300 of them, went to different villages and selected 2 girls. And interestingly, just 2 days before the shoot, when everything is ready, the producer, the team, the ADs have kept everything. It's just the rehearsal, and it's that time is when the director has to do his job. He just has to direct the story and the actors so that everybody can do it. And I have to admit that I couldn't do it that day, and I really felt that ये नहीं होने वाला भैया. You can't get two 7-year-old girls from a village that you are not of, that your language or your lehka is not from, and if you tell them to emote emotion, it was just not happening. I thought maybe this is an animation film because you can't get this age to act, and somehow fortunately I got this idea of teaching them how to read an analog wristwatch. So I made my team stand at each R12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 12 crew members standing, and in the center it was me with the girls. And I told the girls to walk towards 12 o'clock. But I told them that keep your neck at 3 o'clock, but your eyes at 5 o'clock. And that's how I broke down the whole film, all scenes, each shot, because it was majorly a silent film. And they did not have to be cute or chirpy or happy, which typically child actors have. And when I auditioned city children, they were very confident with their auditions and holding that slate and all of that. But I wanted that inherent shyness and wanted a certain fear. So I used to stand on those salt mountains, and from top of there, on top of my voice, I used to shout these directions, which a seasoned actor would never like, because I've assisted in a lot of films, you don't give instructions like these. But with children, I realized that there are no incapable children, there are only incapable directors. So I was fighting that. And I used to be the bad cop, instilling fear and giving them a lot of instructions and being the bully on set to them. And my producer Shreya was the good person. After the shoot, a shot was over, we would give them, like, we had a car which had a dicky, open bar of snacks and cold drinks and music. So they would used to party till we set up the shot, and then again I would bully them. So that's 20 days, 2 days of us doing it for 3 hours in top sun to tell what I wanted.
Tushar, if I can talk about Sadki Aankh, here also, like you said, this was not about the women, but it was life at 60, that life begins. It can begin at any age, and this is what your film narrated as well. But you also simultaneously very beautifully brought out many of the issues faced by women, whether it was a voluntary thing or involuntary thing, but many of the things came out, even between the men and women relationship, or even when it comes to how the girl child is being brought up, or even as to how safe are or not. How did you weave that kind of a thing? Because those things also became the focus, and that's how people think of this film as a women-centric film. But no, I understand what you're saying.
So that credit actually you should give to my writers, Jagdeep Singh Sidhu and Balwinder Janjwa, who, see, I'll tell you, we started off writing this film because obviously there was a story in front of me because it's a biopic, and we contour the journey. And while writing it, we had written a draft which was where there was, where if daughters were born, and you know what they do in daughters are born over there. So I just thought that this is not the kind of film I want to make, because that's not the film I've written. You can see I don't write this kind of film. How will I be? I will not be able to shoot it. So the whole tone that we caught of the film was, let's have it in a fun way. Even if there's any issue, we've done it in a funny manner, so that, or in a commercial, dramatic manner. So that was the thing of this writing that set the tone, and then everyone found that fresh. That's why you're liking it. Otherwise, it's going to become preachy. But that was the fresh take of it. That's why people enjoyed it and liked it. And another thing I'll tell you. So, like he was saying that they went to Gujarat. So let me tell you this. This film was shot exactly where the Dadi stay, the next house. It was actually supposed to be shot in Y. And you should know that this is a women-centric film. There's not too much of a budget because it's not a hero per se. So that's where this Reliance comes in, and they supported me. And I said, no, I want to shoot it in the Johri village only, next to the house, because for only one reason, that my entire crew gets to see the Dadis every day. So the entire crew also knows that what film we are making. It's not just a story about someone. So they used to see the Dadis every day and get so inspired. So any person on the set once saw those Dadis were inspired to make this film. So it really helped us, and we actually spent more money because we had to go to Johri otherwise, because one of the first films to be shot in Meerut. Koi jata nahi, sab darate कि Meerut you don't go. But when I went there, I think it was better than shooting in Bombay because the people were so friendly and so helpful. So this perception that we have that places you don't go, in fact, it's opposite. In India, when you go and make films, every state, every country, every state supports you, and every person comes and supports you there. So that's what it is. Yeah.
Tushar, I saw this film when I was in Dubai, and I must tell you that it wasn't the first show that I went to see there, but the film got a standing ovation. All of us stood up to clap for this film, and it's not always that it happens in Dubai because they're so strict and everything. But this film, I still remember, it gave a standing ovation, and we really we like many of us, we resolved that we'll show this film both to our both children, girl and boy. It was such a beautifully made film.
I must tell you one thing, ma'am. You're saying this. I myself was shocked when I saw the film, the edit, that I made this film. My father till today doesn't believe that I made it. He thinks my wife has directed the film. He keeps on asking me after 1-2 drinks, you really directed or tell me Nidhi directed it. So it's a shocker for everybody.
So when the husband-wife team comes together, they always do brilliant. The brilliance can be seen, as you can say. Tell me one thing. Why did you choose this name, सांड की आँख? Bullseye तो समझ में आता है, पर उसका बहुत ही literal. ये सवाल का जवाब आप बताइए.
That was a long fight. So the actual title was Humanya, as everyone knew.
Yeah.
And someone else had the title, so we could not get the title. So we kept on searching. And Sand Ki Aankh was a line in the film, the dialogue writer written, which always somehow it rang a bell to my ears. Even Sir was not too happy. Then initially a lot of fights happened, but luckily they had to announce I got lucky because no one agreed. Even Anurag got very angry when I told him this name. So, but luckily we had to announce the film. So they had no option. Then they gave me the title. They had to announce the film. So they agreed to it. But I knew that it's going to be difficult. A lot of people will not understand it. But my film was that people will see it, they'll understand it. मुझे पता था कि सांड की आँख पे the whole point is bullseye. It meant that सांड की आँख is bullseye. It had a swag to it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And when you make a 60-year-old woman who had so much swag, I needed a title which had swag to it. So that's why I kept सांड की आँख.
So सांड की आँख and Panchika. So both the name itself spells brilliance. The meaning of both the films are spelled out in the film itself. So if there are no more questions, then I'm going to close this.
I have a question.
Please.
To both the directors. See, both of you have made a movie on social issues. But over the years, things have not changed much in India. Whether it is male supremacy or for that matter, even the caste system, it has not changed much. So what do you want to say on this? What is your take on this, both of you?
Sir, I'll ask you, you saw Sand Ki Aankh?
Yeah, of course. Today I saw.
Yeah? You will have respect for your mother today?
Will
you have?
Yeah, of course.
Then you changed. Thank you. That's my answer to you. So, if you are changing, I think people will change. We can only try. We can't do everything. It's not in our hands. But we can try. That doesn't mean we'll stop making it. We'll again try again. Like I said, I'll make biopics only because that's my effort, that I want people to get inspired. These are called inspiring stories that you need to make so that, and that's why I know that's why we are sitting, both of us are sitting here because they've invited us because we made inspiration movies. Otherwise, we would not be sitting here. So that's the whole point. So that if you liked it, then we are happy about it. And you might change today. You'll be nice to your mother and wife today.
Sir, my question to you is, आपने कहा कि आपको बायोपिक करना पसंद है, तो how it is possible without कोई सुपरस्टार या नॉन एक्टर लिए बायोपिक बनाना कैसा होगा? क्योंकि it is like finally होता है कि लोग देखने जाते हैं if it is a well established actor. आप ऐसे क्या करना चाहेंगे कि जो बायोपिक की स्टोरी है उसकी वजह से लोग जाएं और ना कि कोई उसमें जो सुपरस्टार हो या कोई जो वेल नोन एक्टर्स हो?
यार वो तो हमारी नसीब है. मैं तो हमेशा बोलता हूँ डायरेक्टर हमेशा एक्टर के वैन के पीछे भागते रहता है. एटलास्ट जो वैन के अंदर अलाउ करूँगा मैं उसको ले लूँगा. बट फॉर मी बायोपिक इज जो बायोपिक का जो हीरो है जिस किरदार पे हम बनाते हैं वो खुद सुपरस्टार है. अदरवाइज आई वुड नॉट मेक इट. आई ऑलवेज फील माई दादीज वर सुपरस्टार. द नेक्स्ट फिल्म दैट आई एम मेकिंग इज ऑलरेडी अ सुपर हीरो. सो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि वो ऑलरेडी सुपर हीरो है. एक और इंडिया में बहुत अच्छे एक्टर्स आ गए यार. सो नो अभी ऐसा नहीं है कि सुपरस्टार की ज़रूरत है, अच्छा एक्टर की ज़रूरत है. अगर इसने 6-7 साल के बच्चों के साथ पिक्चर बना के आपको यू लाइक्ड इट, देन देयर इज नो सुपरस्टार रिक्वायर्ड, राइट? सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ गुड एक्टर्स एंड यू हैव टू स्टार्ट वर्किंग हार्ड फॉर इट. दैट्स इट.
अंकित सर, हिया वेंकटेश माडगुळकर जी मराठी के बहुत बड़े राइटर हैं और मुझे ये जानना था कि क्या आप मराठी पढ़ते हैं या फिर आपके पास ये स्टोरी कैसे आई?
नहीं, मैं मराठी पढ़ता नहीं हूँ, बट मैंने तुम्बाड़ एक फ़िल्म पे फर्स्ट एडी का काम किया था, और तुम्बाड़ के जो डायरेक्टर थे राही, टिपिकली डायरेक्टर्स अपने असिस्टेंट्स, कलीग्स, फ्रेंड्स को साथ स्क्रिप्टिंग डिस्कस होती, तुम्बाड़ के स्क्रिप्ट सेशंस में मैं था। तो बहुत सारे राइटर्स के नाम आते हैं, बहुत सारे ट्रांसलेशंस होते हैं, एंड इन वन ऑफ देम मुझे राही ने बताई थी ये स्टोरी। बहुत सारी स्टोरीज़ बताई थी, ऐसा नहीं जैसे इन्होंने भी सत्यमेव जयते के बहुत सारे एपिसोड्स देखे होंगे, बट आपको कोई कोई स्टोरीज़ कनेक्ट हो जाती है, और देन यू रियलाइज़ कि नहीं, ये मैं इसमें कुछ मेरा खुद का कह सकता हूँ, बाकी स्टोरीज़ तो यूनिवर्सल हैं।
थैंक यू सर।
So hats off to these young directors for bringing the women to the forefront, either by way of their achievement after 60 or as young girls, portraying the tale of friendship. Beautiful, and thank you. And I'm so proud to be sharing my dais with you. Thank you for joining us at the Pre-IB's press conference and at IFFI. Congratulations once again. Thank you very much.